Welcome to Mind Over Markets, a place where we don't chase signals, we study ourselves, where trading is not treated as a battle against the charts, but as a quiet exploration of the mind behind every decision, every impulse, every moment of hesitation or fear. If you've ever felt the weight of uncertainty when the market turns against you, if you've ever watched a losing trade stretch deeper and deeper while your emotions tighten their grip, then this message is for you. Today we're going to explore something that separates the traders who survive from the traders who disappear. Something simple, yet profoundly difficult to master. Stop-loss engineering. The kind of structure that protects you from the emotional storms inside your own mind. So take a breath. Settle in. Let's go deeper than the charts. Let's explore the psychology that shapes every outcome and learn why in trading structure always beats emotion. There is a moment every trader knows, a moment when the chart begins to move against you and something inside you tightens, your breath shortens, your shoulders rise, your eyes stare a little too closely at the screen as if looking harder might change the outcome. You tell yourself it's fine, it's just a pullback, it's normal, it will come back. But deep down beneath all the technical analysis, beneath the indicators, beneath the market structure, you feel it, that whisper of fear, that small, almost imperceptible tremor of uncertainty. Every trader has lived that moment, and every trader has at some point ignored their stop loss because of it. Today I want to talk to you about something that most traders never truly master, something that is more psychological than technical, something that determines quietly and consistently who survives this game and who gets washed out of it. Stop-loss engineering. The art of building structure that overpowers emotion. The discipline of designing your exit before your feelings. Try to negotiate with reality. Because in trading, structure beats emotion, always. But to understand why, we have to start with the truth that many traders don't want to admit. Losses don't hurt because of money. Losses hurt because of ego, because of identity, because every losing trade whispers the same painful suggestion: you were wrong. And being wrong is something our minds are designed to avoid at all costs. There's a famous psychological experiment from the 1970s. Participants were given a simple choice: take a guaranteed small loss right now, or risk that loss becoming much bigger later. You already know what happened. Almost everyone chose to risk the bigger loss, not because it was rational, but because they couldn't accept the small one, because admitting loss felt like admitting defeat. If you have ever held a losing trade longer than you should have, if you have ever moved your stop loss just a little farther, if you have ever said, "I'll just wait for it to come back," then you have lived that experiment too. But trading is a place where psychology gets magnified, where emotions get financial consequences, where your inner world shapes your outer results. So let's go deeper. Let's look at the invisible forces that pull your hand away from the stop-loss button. And then let's learn how to build a structure that protects you from yourself. Think back to your worst trade, not the biggest loss in dollars, the worst loss emotionally, the one you still remember. Maybe it started harmlessly, a position just slightly against you. Nothing alarming, nothing unusual. You were calm, you were in control. But then it kept falling, slowly at first, then faster. And suddenly your calmness was gone. Your analysis was gone. All that remained was hope. A desperate, fragile hope that somehow, some way, the market would turn around and save you. The market didn't save you. It rarely does, because the moment you abandon structure, the market becomes your master and emotions become your strategy. There's a story I often tell traders, a metaphor really. Imagine you're walking down a mountain trail. The path is narrow. To your left is the mountain wall. To your right is a cliff, a drop so deep you can't see the bottom. You walk carefully because you understand the danger, but then the fog rolls in, thick, gray, heavy. Suddenly you can't see the edge. You think you're walking straight, but with every step you drift a little closer to the cliff. Losing trades are like that fog. They distort perception. They obscure danger. They make you feel like you still have room even when you don't. Your stop loss is the guardrail, the structure that keeps you from stepping off the edge when the fog of emotion blinds you. Without the guardrail, you rely on your feelings. And feelings are terrible navigators. Why? Because humans are wired for survival, not for trading. And survival instincts work against us in the markets. Let me explain. The first instinct is hope. Hope bias. When a trade goes against you, your mind doesn't want clarity. It wants a story that makes you feel safe. So it invents one. It's just a fake out. It's testing liquidity. It's manipulation. It will reverse soon. Hope makes you hold the cliff edge with a smile. The second instinct is regret aversion. You don't just fear losing money. You fear the emotional pain of imagining what might happen if you close the trade, and then it goes back up without you. Ironically, this fear of imagined future regret traps traders in real immediate losses. Then there's the illusion of control, the belief that you can bend the market with patience, that if you just wait a little longer, the chart will return to your favor. But the market does not obey human desire. It does not see your position. It does not care. It simply moves. And so, trapped between hope, regret, and illusion, traders surrender their power. They abandon logic. They replace their trading system with emotional negotiation. But experienced traders know something different. They know that the stop loss isn't just a tool. It's a philosophy, a mindset, a commitment to truth over hope, a decision to honor structure over emotion. Stop loss engineering begins long before you place a trade. It begins with a question deeper than where should I put my stop? The question is, what level tells me my idea is wrong? Not uncomfortable, not inconvenient, wrong. That's the key. A stop loss is not a safety cushion. It is the line that separates a valid setup from an invalid one, a boundary drawn with logic, not fear. When you design a stop loss properly, it becomes a structural gate, a barrier between you and self-destruction, a place where the market itself tells you it's time to step aside. But to design it properly, you must anchor it in structure, not emotion, near a swing low, below a liquidity zone, outside the range where your setup makes sense, beyond the point of invalidation. When your stop loss is based on market structure, not your feelings, you become free. Because now the market decides the outcome, not your fear. Let me tell you another story. A trader once asked a seasoned market veteran, "How do you stay so calm when your trades move against you?" The veteran smiled and said, "I don't stay calm. I just make all my decisions before the trade starts. When I place the order, the decision is already done. My stop loss does the rest." That is stop loss engineering. Design the exit before you feel the need to exit. Create structure before emotion arrives to negotiate, and emotion will always arrive. Every trader, even the best ones, feels fear. Emotions don't disappear with experience. They simply lose their power because structure takes their place. A well-engineered stop loss does something extraordinary. It frees the mind. It allows you to focus on execution, not survival. It transforms trading from a chaotic emotional battle into a structured, disciplined process. It turns you from a hostage of your feelings into the architect of your outcomes. But structure alone isn't enough. you must also accept something deeper. A stop loss is not a betrayal of your trade. It is a declaration of respect for the market and for your future self. Many traders secretly believe that taking a stop loss means admitting failure, but the truth is the opposite. Every great trader has one common trait. They lose small, consistently, deliberately, almost elegantly. Because small losses are the cost of survival, and survival is the cost of eventual success. There is a concept I call the discipline loop. When you follow your stop loss, even when it hurts, you reinforce discipline. Discipline reinforces structure. Structure reinforces good habits. Good habits reinforce consistency. And consistency is the foundation of profitable trading. But when you break your stop loss just this once, you open a door you may never close again. Because your mind learns something dangerous. Rules are optional. And when rules become optional, chaos follows. Stop-loss engineering closes that door permanently. It creates a system where your behavior is guided by design, not emotion, where your losses are controlled, where your account stays intact long enough for your winners to matter. Let's build the mindset behind it. Imagine a general leading an army. No matter how strong they are, no matter how well trained, a general doesn't send every soldier into every battle. Some positions must be abandoned for the sake of the war. A stop loss is strategic retreat, a conscious choice to protect your capital, the army that fights for you. No general wins every battle. No trader wins every trade. But wise generals and wise traders live to fight the next one. So how do you implement stop-loss engineering in practice? Begin with this simple rule. If you cannot accept the worst-case loss on a trade, the position size is too big. The stop-loss is not flexible. The position size is. This is how professionals think. They set the stop-loss first, then adjust size to match their emotional tolerance, not the other way around. And here's a truth that will set you free. You cannot trade well when you are emotionally attached to the outcome. You cannot think clearly when you are afraid of the loss. You cannot follow structure while clinging to hope. A good stop loss is not just placed on the chart. It is placed in the mind. A commitment, not a number. A principle, not a preference. From here, everything becomes easier. You stop fighting the market. You stop fighting yourself. The noise quiets. The anxiety fades. You trade with a sense of calm that others envy but rarely understand because they are still trying to trade emotionally while you are trading structurally. Let me leave you with one final story. A story about a trader who survived the markets for 20 years. When asked how he managed to endure so long while so many others disappeared, he said, "It wasn't my strategy. It wasn't my intelligence. It wasn't my predictions. It was my willingness to lose quickly. I burned the weeds so the garden could grow." That sentence captures everything about stop-loss engineering. Lose quickly, lose cleanly, lose with intention, so that you can win with clarity. Remember, this structure beats emotion every time. And when your structure becomes stronger than your fear, you unlock the trader you were meant to become. Stop defending your losing trades. Defend your discipline. Defend your future. Build your stop loss like an engineer, not a gambler. And watch how your entire trading life transforms. Because in trading, the real victory is not in avoiding losses. It is in mastering the way you respond to them. And that begins with one simple commitment: structure over emotion. Every day, every trade, without exception. This is how traders survive. This is how traders grow. This is how traders win, not by predicting the market, but by mastering themselves. End of script. Thank you for spending this time with me here on Mind Over Markets. If this message resonated with you, it means you're already walking the path most traders never dare to take, the path inward, where emotional mastery becomes your real edge. Remember this: when you return to the charts, the market will always move with or without your permission, but your discipline, your structure, and your ability to step away from emotion belong entirely to you. Let this be your reminder that every stop loss you honor is not a defeat, but a commitment to your future as a trader. If you'd like to continue this journey with me into deeper psychology, more clarity, and more emotional strength, make sure you stay connected. Until next time, trade with structure, trade with intention, and always trade with a mind that is stronger than its emotions.